Initial jobless claims crossing the tape right now, coming in at 204,000 last week. You can see the markets headed lower. Futures are headed lower as a reaction to that report. Joining me now is former acting White House Chief of Staff and former OMB Director Mick Mulvaney. Mick, good morning to you and welcome. I wanted to get your reaction to these numbers and also expectations for tomorrow's jobs report. I will just note that this 204,000 was slightly less than the expectation of 225,000.
Morning, Jackie. Thanks for having me. It's a decent number. Those are numbers you want to see in sort of a stable job market. Anything above 250, you start to worry. You also look more at the trend lines, and it's sort of been between 200 and 250. So those numbers are that's good. It's unremarkable, and probably not a sign that anything is getting much better or much worse. Tomorrow, this is how we used to look at these job numbers when I was in the White House when they came out. You could pretty much ignore the unemployment rate, the percentage rate. That's because it's a function of not only the people who are out of work, but the people who are out of work and looking for work. I put it this way, if the entire country was unemployed, but nobody was looking for work, the unemployment rate would be zero. So you can sort of take that percentage and ignore it. What you're looking for is this. You want that number to be about 250,000 jobs or north. Anything below 250 is a disappointing jobs number. So you look at the raw number, a healthy American economy, given the size of the population, given the size of the workforce, you need that number to be above 250 to be a good number. And it looks like the estimates are it's going to come in right around there tomorrow.
Okay. I also peel back some of the layers, look at labor force participation, which has been going in the wrong direction recently. Less people looking than should be looking, right? And also at wage growth. What do you think we're going to see there?
Unfortunately, I think you're going to continue to see that labor participation rate go down. It's a combination of things. Yes, we have the continued graying of America as folks age out of the workforce, but we also continue to have this very, very sort of aggressively growing federal government that makes it more possible for folks to stay home. There's a reason that small business especially can't find people. We've made it fairly profitable to stay home, or at least people do the calculations and say, look, I can make this to stay home and do nothing. If I work, I'm only going to make X, so they're going to want to stay home more often than not. So, yeah, the labor participation rate continues to disappoint, and I think it will continue to sort of move in the wrong direction.
Okay, Tiana?
Just to pivot a little bit to what's going on in the House right now, and I know you were there on that first day, McCarthy up for a 7th vote to see if he can become Speaker. I know that you've said that if McCarthy can't seal this deal, Republicans could go for 20 Republicans could ally with Democrats. You've nominated Fred Upton, but where are the 20 Republicans to go for Fred Upton?
Yeah, I don't know if I've nominated Fred Upton, but I was trying to think this through. Here's my point. I don't think there's a Republican other than Kevin McCarthy who can get 218 votes amongst Republicans. Not Steve Scalise. Go down the list. There's always going to be at least 5 or 6 objectors to every Republican. So it's either Kevin McCarthy or it's somebody that gets votes from the Democrats. So if you start looking more towards the center of our party, you look towards the appropriators, the folks who have been there a very long time, who might go to the Democrats and say, look, we need to break this impasse. We'll bring 20 Republican votes. We'll promise you a committee chairmanship, for example. We'll promise you that we won't give any subpoena power to the committees. And if you give us your support, we can then pick sort of this compromise speaker. That'd be a huge win for the Democrats.
Yeah.
It would give us a speaker. And I do think that's a possibility. At the beginning of the week, I thought that was one chance in 1,000. Now I think it's one chance in 10.
Oh, interesting.
This will move one way or the other, but I continue to believe that Kevin McCarthy is the only Republican who can get 218 votes.
Okay, but the 21 holdouts, I think to a certain degree, are trying to make a point here as well. A point that they can take back to their constituents and say, listen, we fought, we stood up, we heard you. At the same time, I likened this yesterday to Elon Musk and Twitter. Right? He stepped up to the plate. He said he was going to bid $44 billion to buy Twitter. He wanted to ignite a conversation about what was going on there and start exposing things. And then I think later when he backed away, Mick, he kind of was like, I don't really need to buy the company now. I already got everybody talking about this. So I look at these 21 and say, they've ignited the conversation. I think McCarthy seems to get the point. At what point do you think that, they should just support him and say, Democrats or Republicans, everybody should come together and just say, let's move forward?
Yeah, it's a great analogy. I've not heard that. That's really insightful, because that's exactly where we are. I'm a founding member of the Freedom Caucus. I know most of these folks, right? They've had tremendous wins already. I know that's boring to people, but the rules package that they've negotiated will allow them votes on things like mandatory spending and unfunded mandates, things we used to beg for from John Boehner 10 years ago when we had the last speaker's battle. Jim Jordan is going to be the chairman of the Judiciary Committee. We never would have imagined that 10 years ago. There have been huge victories already because of this, for conservatives, because of what's happened. The question is this: how do you claim victory with grace right now? They've dug themselves so deep in a hole, I don't know how they get out, but they have won the battle. Now the question is, how do they actually claim the victory? And I don't know how they do it, other than just to say, we're done, we've won, let's take McCarthy and move on.
Right. I spoke to Freedom Caucus Chairman Scott Perry on this program yesterday morning. He's one of the 21. He's not backing McCarthy. Here's what he had to say. Listen to this.
The way this works, though, is no one will really step up until the guy that's at the top steps aside, because there's a lot of deals that have been made. There are members past and present that have a vested interest in protecting the swamp and the status quo.
Okay, so yesterday morning, digging his heels in there, we've heard that the conversations were ongoing very, very, very late last night, so things could possibly change today. It's going to kick off again at noon. And what was funny yesterday was that we were receiving insight that it was possible, an adjournment would happen initially. Do you think that's one route to try to go, Mick, to also say if no decision, rather than continuing these votes and getting nowhere, just say, let's adjourn and let's keep working on it?
Yeah, we're sort of in uncharted waters. Here's what we know so far through the first 2 days. So we're day 3. I've been here for all 3 of them. I was on the floor for a couple of the votes. Here's what we know, is that the House has to meet. And when they meet, there's only really 2 things they could do. They could vote to adjourn, or they could vote for Speaker. If there's not a majority that wants to vote to adjourn, they have to go and immediately vote for the Speaker. It's the only 2 options they have. So you're right. I think there's a lot of folks who say, look, we're tired of doing this in public. Let's continue to have these negotiations. Let's not go through the charade of voting, 3 and 4 times a day. But they have to vote to do that. And if the Democrats don't want them to do that, then they have to have all the Republicans vote to adjourn. That's how narrow the margins are. So, yeah, you're right. Listen, nothing is going sort of in the way anybody wants to do it. No one really knows what's going on, because we haven't done this in 100 years. It's ugly, but we're going to get through it. And I think at the end of the day, Kevin McCarthy will be Speaker, and we'll all be better off as conservatives and Republicans because of it.
Yeah, we're living history. It's really interesting to watch. Thank you.